Welcome back to the Retro Sports Gamer channel. This is an upload, the first of a series on fire with Green Magic, where yours truly breaks down some game film, as it were, from the classic retro sports video game NBA Jam Tournament Edition on Super Nintendo. Today's matchup was played back in June online between myself and Retro Sports Gamer channel core member Slapshot Sean. Let's first take a look at the matchup, and we can do that by sizing up each of the 6 players in this contest. It starts with a top 10 player, Tom Gugliotta, 7 speed, 8 power, 7 on 3-point rating. Just a really dominant trio of attributes. Cherry on top, he's got a 7 dunk rating. He's middle of the road with his defensive attributes, but thankfully he's got some help from his teammates. Next, we've got kind of a bubble tier 1, tier 2 player, Cliff Robinson. He's built a lot like Horace Grant with 5 speed, 9 power, 9 block. There's not a lot to look at otherwise, but he really is the key centerpiece of this Blazers team, in my opinion. Then also in tier 2, we've got Terry Porter. 8 speed, 8 3-pointers is a nice combination. 4 in power is okay, but I do like that 8 steal rating because it can help him out as a drone to just be whipping around, maybe cause some turnovers. He is a shorter sprite player, though, so it is tough to play him as for a full quarter. Also in tier 2, we have Latrell Sprewell. 7 speed, 4 power, not too imposing, but that 7 on 3-point rating is. And he can also surprise you with the 8 dunk, 8 block rating, so he's deadly at the rim both ways. Then 5th overall in this matchup, it might be surprising, but it's the 10-time All-Star Clyde Drexler. That 7 speed is nice, and that 9 on dunk rating is really nice because it sets up opportunities. He can begin his dunk animation from pretty far away from the rim. But it's not really a game record because other than that, he has middle-of-the-road attributes. Then we have the outlier Ronnie Cycly in tier 4. His 3 speed, 6 power, not too impressive for a grinder. However, he has an 8 dunk, 8 block rating, so he can really help control the key, especially with Sprewell, who's also a good defender. So when I look at Golden State, overall they have nice chemistry led by an elite overall player. And I look at Portland, there's less chemistry there because each player is so specialized. But if they can get their best player, Cliff Robinson, to contain Gugliotta, then that really sets them up for some nice things.
Like 9 to 10, contacting the guys that said they were going to be there, and none of them are jumping on. I'm like, okay, so that's why the stream didn't start till 10:15, because I was just waiting for guys to play, and they just didn't show up.
Yeah.
And then one guy says he's going to play at like 10:10 when I'm already starting the stream for NHL. All right, I'm gonna go with Gugliotta and Sprewell to start. The game started.
Next, let's take a look at strategy. So Sean takes the Warriors, which gives me the Blazers. A couple points of emphasis. First is I want to try to impose my will in the shove game using Cliff Robinson's 9 power rating. I want to, on defense, shove the Warriors each time they come up the court. Ideally, make Gugliotta sit in the second quarter or make him slower and less effective. And since the Warriors have good defenders, when I'm on offense, I'm going to be pretty deliberate about trying to land dunks with Robinson. And then the other point of emphasis is to make sure to limit Gugliotta's open 3-point opportunities. And I do that by contesting his 3-pointers. Every time Googs goes for a shot from the arc, I want to try to shove him, which is a way of contesting the shot. And then as I'm tracking the ball in the air, either pick it off the rim or even goaltend it, because that can set me up for getting on fire. And once I'm on fire, that can really neutralize Gugliotta's 3-point prowess.
Oh, come on. You're going to leave me open under the hoop?
Oh, my God. I was trying to push you, and my timing was all off. I was missing. Yes, Gugliotta! Throwing it down.
Freaking lit my world up.
Get out of here, baby.
Next, I want to point out a rebounding strategy. It seems intuitive to jump after the ball to get it off the rim, but it can be very effective with a powerful player like Cliff Robinson to what I call box out. You just shove the other player and then kind of casually pick up the ball. And the next thing I want to point out is something I refer to as the outside-inside technique. This is used to try to neutralize really effective 3-point shooters like Tom Gugliotta. And if you're able to do that, you can keep your chain going of trying to get on fire. This is done by using Smart Turbo and saving it for when you know they're about to take the shot. Do a turbo burst to lay the heat on the shooter and, in a sense, contest it, and then follow the path of the ball to the rim and either pick it off the rim or using timing or maybe even goaltending. Because like I said earlier, goaltending will allow you to continue your chain of fire going on. And so I know these are a lot of quick strategy points, but overall this is a pretty short video, so feel free to watch it back a couple times and maybe that'll help clarify some of this.
I'll get it out.
As we go to the team select screen between quarters, we can kind of look over our strategy and if we were able to pull it off. So I wanted to get on fire with Cliff, and I was able to do that a couple times. The only thing is I wasn't able to take advantage of it and really get a lead going. But the other thing I wanted to do was impose my will in the shove game, and I was able to do that. I landed 6 injuries on Gugliotta. He'll probably have to take a break. Sprewell is going to be a little bit slower with 5 injuries. So we go into the second quarter, and I've got a fresh slashing Drexler. I got a drone Porter with only 2 injuries, and I get to save my best player Cliff for probably the entire second half. And we go into the second quarter, and turns out I forget that I would have been heating up with Clyde, but he kicks it out to Porter, and he gets the 3. And looks like Sean's trying to dunk it there with Sprewell, but able to play some Team D. Another kick out to Terry. He's good. 2 for 2. Like I said earlier, trying to play defense with a smaller sprite character has its challenges. And there I just get kind of dunked on. But it's all right. Kind of go to playing point guard with Clyde and letting Terry shoot the 3. He misses it. It was a good contest by Cycly. But get my own rebound and toss up another one. And Porter gets his 3rd 3. So he's really kind of imposing his will here. Try to play some team defense, but Sean's able to get the dunk. And I continue to kind of play point guard with Clyde. Give it to Terry. Terry gets his own rebound again. And a missed jump by Sean leads to an open 3. Terry Porter's 4-3 of the quarter. And I try to shove Cycly on the off ball. Sprewell showing that nice 8 dunk rating. He's able to make his hay when Cliff Robinson isn't in there. And I probably tried to dunk that, but a little teardrop by Clyde. And Clyde doing his best. Ooh, nice read on the off ball shove.
Oh, get that, Clyde.
Terry Porter takes it straight to the corner, and that's his 5th 3. So Terry, he can do it. He's got the speed and the 3-point ability to create the 3-point shot. It's just, like I keep saying, is challenging to play defense with the shorter sprite character. Sprewell denies Clyde. I kind of chuck up an ill-advised 3 there. It's all good.
One Deontay in the world is enough. You're that special.
That is true. We don't need another.
Just 7 seconds left in the half, so it's time for a last shot. And I go ahead and try to get an exciting dunk with Drexler. He has that 9 dunk rating. And this game is called NBA Jam. Sometimes it's just kind of fun to see those dunks those crazy dunks that are programmed into this game. And it made me curious what other players are given that 9 dunk rating. How many? So it's Larry Johnson and Hakeem Olajuwon. Those are both S-tier players. Then we got Sean Kemp, Patrick Ewing, Karl Malone. Those guys are Tier 1. Then also with a 9 dunk rating, we got Harold Miner, Dominique Wilkins, Scottie Pippen, Isaiah Ryder, and surprisingly, Sean Bradley, the legend. Then I went ahead and got curious about who's got the 8 dunk rating, because that's also very good. And there were 14 guys, 2 of them on the Warriors, Cycly and Sprewell. And we've seen a little bit of what they can do. And Spud Webb was on that list with an 8. I was hoping they'd give him a 9, but he's a shorter sprite player, along with D. Brown, who's an 8. And so D. Brown on the Celtics, that gives the Celtics 2 really good dunkers in him and Dominique Wilkins. And that's significant partly because they have a really nice player in Dino Raja, who's 5 speed, 5 power, 8 on 3-pointer, 8 steal, and that's decent. But anyway, that's a tangent, but I bring that up partly because that's why I enjoy doing these deep dive analyses. I'm always kind of finding something new.
Cycly is just a freaking wall.
Oh, shit. I
So
didn't
we're
realize
already
he was...
in the second half, and what Sean really needs to do is GGG, get Googs going, maybe even get him on fire, get a little rally going, but unfortunately, it's Cliff Robinson who gets on fire, and when your opponent is on fire, it can be challenging. You got to be really specific how you attack that fire, throwing some elbows, getting them to commit on a jump block, and then dishing it off and getting a quick dunk. It's easier said than done, but it does. Like every time my opponent is on fire, I consider that a key possession. Like it's just there's one goal, and it's to douse that fire, because when they have fire, they're in control.
End the fire.
Yeah, that's the only break you get. Oh, Cycly OP mode.
Splash. Oh, come on, Sykes. It's so bad. So bad.
That's a difficult shot for him.
Yeah.
That's pretty far out there.
Yeah, I mean, he just sucks.
So now we see this lovely little coaching tip. It was real quick, but it was saying that 0 dunk rating players cannot dunk. And that's just not true. Like, I've seen him dunk before. I'm not quite sure why the game perpetuates that myth. But it does say that layups are lower percentage than dunk, and that's definitely true. But if you're wondering who has the 0 dunk rating in this game, it's mostly shorter sprite players. It's Muggsy Bogues, Kenny Anderson, Scott Skiles, John Stockton, and Jeff Hornacek. So most of the Jazz team has a 0 dunk rating. Also Joe Dumars, BJ Armstrong, and Mark Price. And the outlier in that group is Jeff Hornacek. He's not a small sprite player, but he's given a 0 dunk rating. And it's kind of an inside joke that Tom and I have, is that some people think that Hornacek is decent because he's got that 8 3-point rating, and I just think it's too slow. I just think he's terrible on defense, and that's nothing against the player himself. You know, it's just the ratings that the game gives him. So anyway, we are in the fourth quarter. We're just kind of playing this one out. There's about a 20-point lead the Blazers have. Sean really had his work cut out from him from the beginning of the quarter, but I don't know. Like, fire is always a possibility in this game, and Gugliotta, he makes his second 3 in a row there, so he's actually heating up. I mean, sure, the game's out of hand, but this is what you call a key possession. And then the Warriors, they get the ball. So if Gugliotta is able to clear some elbows, maybe.
Oh, way! Get out of here!
Get that dunk in there. He gets on fire, and I don't know, maybe he makes it even closer. But that wasn't in the cards, and I mean, he's still railing those threes, even though he's not on fire. So, and the Warriors continue to play pesky defense. Latrell Sprewell just blocking Cliff Robinson from behind, doing his best Horace Grant impression. Terry Porter did get a 3, gets pushed over in the corner, and I'm just chucking it up for funsies. And with that Latrell Sprewell dunk, that kind of brings us
in the corner
to the end of regulation. So, what do you think about that game, Sean?
If you look at the first and fourth quarter, it was great. As soon as I had to put Cycly in, I was fucked.
That was definitely part of the strategy. Wanted to get Gugliotta off the court and get Cycly on there. Cycly did some good defensive things, but he's no Gugliotta. So, but that actually wraps it up. So, thanks so much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. There's definitely more NBA Jam analysis to come. We got quite a bit of material on the channel, and I look forward to breaking some of that down. Some of them tournament games, some of them friendlies just like this. So we really appreciate you liking and subscribing, all that. And we'll catch you guys next time.
Alright, I got one more and then I have to pee. I'm still game to play after that, but I'm gonna have to pee soon.
All right.